So I was on the steps of the moot hall after finishing the Bob Graham, and this random woman came up to me and offered me a chip. And basically it transpired that she was Wendy Dodds, who is a member of the Bob Graham committee and a bit of a legendary fell runner. And a couple of hours earlier, she'd completed her Frog Graham round. So she looked fresh as a daisy. She offered me a chip. I was feeling really sick because I'd just finished the Bob Graham. She said, you should do it next, do the Frog Graham. So that was a bit of inspiration for me. And I'd heard about it a few years before. In 2013, my dad had given me a book called Swim Hiking in the Lake District by a guy called Peter Hayes. And I'd read this book, and it outlines this crazy route, this spoof route of the Bob Graham round. And my wife and I had done it as a weekend over 2 days, and we'd had a really good time. We had a lovely weekend. We'd done it this summer. It was quite challenging. It was over 2 days, still decent days, but we had a lot of fun. I always fancied coming back and giving it a go as a oneer, doing it over a day.
So we kind of, like, as kids, grew up with the mountains, or like the fells, being in our lives. So we were, like, on Saturdays and Sundays, we would get taken for long walks by parents, and we went to stay with grandparents as children. My grandma would actively encourage us as kids to go in the beck, to be in the stream or in the lake. We grew up swimming in cold water from a really early age. My dad as well takes any opportunity, and still does now, to go for a swim on a walk. I think hearing my dad talk about Bob Graham and as a kid was, it made me want to do it. I think it's one of his dreams. He had always fancied doing it himself, and hearing about stories of him going and pacing for people and helping other people out with it. But I didn't really get into fell running until my 20s. I lived in New Zealand for a while and got into trail running there, and then came back to live in Cumbria. I did quite a lot of fell races when I joined the police.
So I finished the Bob Graham in August, and obviously I didn't fancy doing the Frog Graham the next weekend. So I wanted a bit of a break, I wanted a bit of a rest. So I thought, well, a couple of months is reasonable. And I thought, well, the next available opportunity would be in a couple of months, and that's going to be December. And I looked into it and spoke to the secretary, and he said, well, no one's done a midwinter round before. And I thought it'd be fun to just give it a go. I knew that a couple of people had tried to do a winter round and had failed because they got too cold. So I just thought it was something that hadn't been done at the time. Why not give it a go? It could be interesting. I could fail, who knows? I could freeze in a lake, get cramp, sink to the bottom. But yeah, it just appealed as a different, weird challenge, really. Bag.
It's not the time to discuss this.
It's nice getting to the top of Skidder. That's the highest point of the whole route, so you think, well, in terms of the weather and the conditions and the ice, it's probably going to be the worst bit over. And as you can probably see on the footage, it was significantly skiddy on the top. There's quite a bit of snow and ice, and actually the descent from Skidder down to Carlside was really quite sketchy. I think for the first swim my mentality was just get in there as quickly as possible and just get on with it. I'd got my wife who kindly was shining my bike torch. Unfortunately, that light didn't seem to be getting any closer at all as I was swimming across. I was really quite cold when I reached the other side and got out of the water. I couldn't really speak and my hands were frozen solid.
What have you got, Si?
Okay,
This is some rice pudding,
Lovely stuff.
double barrel.
tin fruit.
Do you want to sit in the car and get warm?
No, thank you.
Absolutely freezing.
It was definitely a challenge. I think the cold being the biggest one, dealing with the cold and the change in temperature, your body temperature. Watching the sunrise up over Grisdale Pike and Hopegill Head was really nice. It was really quite special. I'd moved my time 24 hours earlier because it looked like there was going to be a bit of a weather window. I knew that the wind was going to get up to about 50 to 80 miles an hour on the tops from about 4 or 5 p.m. in the afternoon, so I had that in my head. It was either a quick round or no round.
Si?
Come on.
You go do it, come on.
The first feeling is one of relief, you know, you've done it, you've finished, and then a slight feeling of emptiness then after an event, after you finish something like that you've been thinking about for a while and working up to. Then there's a sort of anticlimactic feeling of, you know, what now, what next?
Hello?
Hi mate, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm just, you know, working on the project, just looking through some stuff. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Not bad. My legs have just about recovered and I've thawed out. I spent a few hours in the bath.
Oh, good,
warming
good.
up and ate my body weight in toast. I'm on the mend and I've been chatting to my dad about maybe doing it together as a pair in the summer, maybe next summer. So he seems pretty keen and he's in training, he's doing some swimming. So yeah, I think it'd be a really fun way to do it together and get him involved as well.